So what I have here is the brand new Insta360 Go 3, and in today's video we're looking at a side-by-side comparison with the Insta360 Go 2. And I'll be going through all the features in order to help you decide whether it's worth upgrading from the Insta360 Go 2 to the Go 3. So without further ado, let's take a look at the differences when it comes to the specs and features that you get when you pick up either of these cameras. Now both of the cameras has a 1/2/3 inch sensor with a 134-degree field of view. The Go 3 though can shoot normal videos up to 2.7K, whilst the Go 2 can only shoot videos at 1440p up to 50 FPS, which can also be done by the Go 3. The Go 3 also has some brand new features like pre-recording, loop recording, and also time capture, where the Go 2 is limited to just having the basic features. Now the Go 3 also comes with an action pod which has a 2.2-inch touchscreen, which can also flip for a more convenient framing, where the Go 2 has a smaller charging case with 2 buttons to control the settings that you see on the small LCD screen. Now because the Go 3 also has a bigger touchscreen, it also offers a live preview of what you're recording, so you don't need to connect the camera to the app in order to see what the camera sees, where the Go 2 needs to be connected to the app in order to see what the camera sees. Now new to the Go 3, we also have 10 brand new color profiles, included the previous profiles which the Go 2 had, the Vivid, Standard, and Log. The Go 3 also has 2 microphones now for better directional audio, whilst the Go 2 only had 1 microphone on the top of the camera. The Go 3 also comes with a bigger battery, which allows up to 45 minutes of record time, where the Go 2 only had a record time of up to 30 minutes. And when mounted to the action pod or the charging case, the Go 3 gets a massive 170 minutes of record time, which is 20 minutes more than the Go 2's 150 minutes. Another brand new feature to the Go 3 is also voice control, so you can now talk to the camera and tell the camera to start recording a video or to take a photo. But where the Go 2 has HDR video, the Go 3 was left behind. And this is a feature we might see with the Go 3 in the future, but as for now, there is no HDR video recording available on the Go 3. But the Go 3 compensates for the lack of HDR video by having HDR photo, where the Go 2 only has normal photos. And the last, both can be used with the Insta360 mobile and studio app. Now let's start with a video comparison so you can actually see the differences between the Go 2 and the Go 3. And none of these clips have been color corrected or graded in post-production, so what you see now is what you're gonna get when you pick up either of these cameras. And both of the cameras are also using the highest possible quality, so the Go 3 shoots in 2.7K at 30 FPS and the Go 2 shoots at 1440p at 30 FPS. So we can see that the Go 3 has the slightest advantage when it shoots in 2.7K resolution at 30 FPS. But as for the free frame mode, which is the same mode as the Pro mode on the Go 2, there is not that much difference. But you definitely want to get something like this for the higher quality of 2.7K. So overall, video comparison, to me, the Go 3 is the clear winner, and this is also to be expected. After all, it is an upgraded version of the Go 2. Now, let's talk about the audio coming from from these two cameras. You now have a microphone here facing directly towards you, which in theory should provide a much clearer and better audio. So this is an audio test with the Go 3 and the Go 2, and this is the typical vlogging scenario. There is a slight breeze here as well, and I'm having the cameras about an arm's length away from me. Both are recording in the vivid color profile. The Go 2 has 1440p and the Go 3 has 2.7K. Which sounds better? Is it the Go 3 or is it the Go 2? So this is an audio test with the Go 3 and the Go 2, and this is the typical vlogging scenario. There is a slight breeze here as well, and I'm having the cameras about an arm's length away from me. Both are recording in the vivid color profile. The Go 2 has 1440p and the Go 3 has 2.7K. Which sounds better? Is it the Go 3 or is it the Go 2? And this is another audio test with the Go 2 and the Go 3. This time I put the Go 3 to stereo and the Go 2 still has no wind reduction. Which sounds better? Is it the Go 2 or is it the Go 3? So to me, the Go 3 is the clear winner, and it has a huge advantage having the additional microphone which is facing towards the user of the camera. Now when it comes to the Go 2, this was basically something that I never used as a camera that I talked to, because the microphone was placed on top of the camera here. So this is a huge improvement for me to now actually have a directional microphone to make everything sound more crisp. It's just fantastic how much this has improved over the Go 2 so far in this video. So let's move over to the next topic. Now, comparing these two cameras, the Go 3 is obviously better because it has more and better features, just like today's sponsor, Epidemic Sound. Now, to me, there's no better source of music than Epidemic Sound. I've been using it for a very long time now, and at the beginning, I was comparing the different platforms to see which had the best offers, not only music and sound effects, but also the features in general. And over the years, I've seen and experienced myself the consistent flow of new features being added to Epidemic Sound. Now there's also a mobile app which makes browsing music and sound effects much easier on the go, and there's also a new feature called Sync to Video, which basically finds the music for you by recommending different tracks depending on your video. So you go to the bottom right corner on the Epidemic Sound's website and select this icon right here. You can also preview some of the samples if you don't have a video yet, but you basically upload a clip from your video and then select find music for this scene and you're done. To be honest, it has never been this easy to find music for my videos, and it's definitely something worth looking into. You can also test for yourself, which will be much easier for you, and you can do that with my link in the description below, which also gives you a 30-day free trial which you can cancel anytime. Now with that said, let's get back to the Go 2 and the Go 3. Now, talking about stabilization, according to the specs here, there is no improvement to the stabilization offered by the Insta360 Go 3, which means it will run off the same stabilization as the Go 2. In my opinion, the stabilization on the Go 2 is outstanding, and I can't see where they could improve on that, because it's just, you know, it's just amazing how stable the footage comes out when you use a camera with the size of your thumb. I mean, look at this, it's so small, and the Go 2 is even smaller, so the stabilization is amazing. And there's actually no differences when it comes to stabilization in these two, but where you will see a difference is with the new shooting mode. The 2.7K normal video does have 3 stabilization options, which is also brand new to the Go 3. So let's take a look at the stabilization level 1 here. You get to these when swiping down from the top of the screen, and you can see here that level 1 is suitable for daily activities like vlogging, smaller hikes, and is basically what you want to use for your daily activities. Now moving over to number 2 here, or level 2, this is more towards the intense activities like running, snowboarding, skiing, surfing, and so on. And the level 3 stabilization is for extreme activities like heavy mountain biking, or where the camera itself experiences a lot of movement. And to be honest, I've been using stabilization level 1 most of the time, and I've been putting this on my bike, and the footage is coming out amazing. The stabilization even on level 1 looks amazing, and I haven't really noticed any crop when I change to the different stabilization options or levels, which is nice. Usually there is a massive crop when you add some stabilization, like GoPro. You have the boost mode, which is like 15% or 10%. But like I said, I've been using the level 1 most of the time, and it's also what you've seen in this video so far, and maybe my previous Go 3 video, which is everything you need to know about the Go 3, which is diving even deeper into the specs and every single feature that this has to offer. So if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out down in the description below. There is a link to that video, and there's also a link to the Insta360 Go 3 if you want to pick it up, and also the X3. I keep on, adding the X3 as well, because I think the X3 is a fantastic camera. It's such a fantastic camera that I now have too. It's just amazing how good that is. But that's for a different video. I also have a video on that, which I will link down below. But anyway, yeah, I think the stabilization level 1, maybe 2 is the best thing to use with this. But the fact that you have these options now with the 2.7K resolution is amazing. Now, as for the free frame shooting mode, which is the exact same as pro video mode on the Go 2, the stabilization is exactly the same. Like I said, there is I have no information about the differences between the stabilization version of these two. So they are running off the same type of stabilization, the same type of flow state, and the stabilization in the free frame and pro mode is exactly the same. So if you need horizon lock, you would need to record your videos in the free frame and the pro mode on the Go 2. So that's basically the main difference. Now let's talk about picture profiles. The Go 3 has 10 brand new profiles compared to the standard vivid and log that you have on the Go 2. So with the Go 3, you now have 2 profiles for biking, 2 profiles for urban environments, 2 profiles for snow, 2 for night shooting, and 2 for water sports, as well as the existing standard vivid and the flat profile, which was renamed from log. So let's say you're out doing a dive or some snorkeling, or maybe you take a dip in the pool. The colors will be different below water from above water. So usually you'll end up color grading and color correcting a lot in post to make this look good, especially if you're using the normal color profiles like the vivid or standard color profiles. And it also depends on your settings. So if you have the perfect settings for shooting above water, if you take the same settings and put below water, then it's not going to look as good, and you will have a lot of trouble or a lot of work to do in post-production in order to make this look good. So to me, it's fantastic that they added these 10 profiles for us to choose from, which actually makes the camera more versatile and easier to use, because now there's less work you have to do in post-production. You can just select the profile of the environment and scene you're shooting, and then you are good to go. So I recommend that you test these out a little bit before you take it on the water or go to those different scenes, so you know how it looks. But in general, I would say shoot with the flat color profile or the vivid color profile, or a standard. Mostly I shoot with the flat profile on the Go 3 because I think that actually looks the best after color correcting and grading. And with the Go 2, I use the vivid color profile. So yeah, there is a little bit of change there, a little bit more work for me to do, but I like it. So let's talk about mounting. We also have a new mounting system on the Go 3, which is a magnetic quick lock system, similar to what you have on the DJI Action 2 and 3. Now with the Go 2, we had tons of different accessories we could get to mount the camera in all different places. We had the pivot stand, another pivot stand but with a 1/4" screw, the action clip, head clip, a magnetic pendant, a power mount for longer record time, a smaller selfie stick, and more. It was always that, which one should I bring? Do I need to bring all, or should I bring this? What am I gonna film, and do I need everything? So most of the times I've actually ended up just taking every single accessory that I have for the Go 2 and just take it with me on my trips. But with the Go 3 now, it actually seems that we don't have that many accessories, because the accessories are now looking a little bit different, which in my opinion is good, because there's less accessories to use, and the less accessories we have to use, the better, right? So what Insta360 have done now is to actually make this pivot stand here with the 1/4" screw underneath, and you can actually rotate this as you wish. You can put it sideways, and you can put it just vertical, horizontal, and you can also mount the action pod to that if you want to do that. Whenever you need to mount this on your helmet or anything like that, you can take the Go 3 out and you can just mount the Go 3 on the pivot stand here, just like that. It's just amazing how much more convenient this is to use than having all these type of accessories here just to do the same thing. Now let's talk about versatility when it comes to the Go 3 and the Go 2. I mentioned this in my previous comparison of the X3, the Action 3 and the GoPro Hero 10, but these cameras itself are not versatile. It's how you use it and how you can use it which makes it versatile. And since both of these cameras are similar in size and weight and has the same magnetic backplate, though the Go 3 is a tiny bit bigger and weighs 9 grams more, there is no difference to how you can use these two. It's only your own creativity which, you know, puts a limit to how you use these cameras. But the Go 3 of course has the upper hand because it has this 2.2-inch touchscreen, which I've said it so many times now, it can flip. So you can use this as a vlogging camera. And the reason this is so much more versatile than the Go 2 is because you can actually see yourself and you can change the settings here. You can do everything you need to do on the screen. You don't have to connect your phone in order to change a single setting. Only to preview slow motion footage and time lapses and also the time capture is what you need to connect your phone to in order to be able to preview that. But other than that, you can just do everything on the screen here, and the screen is also super responsive and the layout is super nice compared to what you have on the Go 2. I mean, this worked perfectly fine, but now I cannot see myself going back to the Go 2 because the screen on the Go 2 is such a small screen. And the biggest problem with this is that it actually overheats pretty fast, especially when I use it as a dash cam. So I put this in my car and I was actually recording for about 9 minutes, I think, or 8 minutes, and then I got this message saying device is too hot. But that was not the case with the Go 3. It kept on recording for I think 22 minutes or something, and then I realized that, hey, I don't want to waste all my storage on, you know, recording a road, so I stopped it. But the fact that it didn't overheat in the exact same conditions as the Go 2 and it recorded for as long as I wanted it to record was just amazing. And that's also because of the brand new heat dissipation which is in the Go 3, which makes it much more heat resistant than the Go 2. So a huge upgrade if you ask me. Now, as for the overall versatility when it comes to these two cameras, it's basically the same. It's how you use it. And most of the time, for me personally, I use them outside of the charging case. And with the Go 2, I was so used to connecting the app just to check the footage later. And with the Go 3, I also find myself connecting to the app because in order to edit the videos, you will need to connect to the app anyway, or take the files over to your computer and then into the Insta360 Studio app. But with the Go 3, which also records in 2.7K, which is normal videos, so with these normal videos, you don't have to put them through the Insta360 Studio app or mobile app. You can just take them directly from the camera and then put on your timeline or into a separate folder for when you're gonna edit your video. We also had that with the Go 2, but that was the normal video mode, so not Pro mode, and the normal video didn't look as good as Pro video, so most people ended up using Pro mode, I think, and then going through the app on your mobile or on your computer. But the fact that we can actually do this now with such a quality improvement is amazing. Now, the Go 2 comes in two different sizes, the 32GB or the 64GB, which I have here. These are officially out of stock on Insta360's own website, so in order to get one of these, you will have to go through a third-party website or see if you can find them in your local store. But the Go 3, on the other hand, has three different options now. It has the 32GB, 64GB, and a whopping 128GB of storage. So So the price for the 32GB is $379.99. The 64 is $399.99. So $400 for 64, and the 128 is $430. And links, of course, down in the description with some links to the recommended accessories that I use with the Go 3, and also the Insta360 X3M, which I've been using with the Go 2 as well. So these are basically universal accessories which works for any of these cameras. Now let's talk about the pros and cons with these two cameras, and let's start with the Go 3. Now one of the cons with the Go 3 is the actual Go 3 and the action pod itself, because this is what you get. Once you get the Go 3, this is exactly what you get, and that means this is fragile. This is open to anything that wants to scratch it. So I highly recommend that you get a small case like this, which you can put your Go 3 and the action pod into, and then just zip it up, and you have a much safer travel for your Go 3. Now let's talk about the cons of the Go 2. This is going to be a quick one. It shoots in 1440p at 50 FPS tops, and it basically takes forever to navigate through the menu here because you have to press these two buttons, and it's not rare that I push the wrong button and have to like cycle through all the options again. So it is a pain, but it is manageable, and you know, I'm kind of used to it. But if you're looking into any of these for the first time, definitely go with the Go 3. Now another con with the Go 2 is also the overheating compared to the Go 3. This overheats much faster, but it also depends on how much airflow that goes through the camera. So if you have a perfect circulation of air, you're gonna record for 10 minutes or 15 minutes if you set it to 15 minutes. So yeah, but the con is it overheats. It overheats much faster than the Go 3, which I haven't managed to overheat yet. So the big question is, the Go 3 something that you should get? Is it something that will add much more value to your life than the Go 2 did? Should you upgrade from the Go 2 to the Go 3? Or if you don't have the Go 2 or the Go 3, which one should you buy? And the short answer is, of course, get the Go 3. And if you haven't seen my full video on the Go 3, where I go through everything you need to know, there is a link in the description below, also in the top of the comment section if you want to check that out. I highly recommend that you check that out because it's diving a little bit deeper into the uses of the Go 3. So there you have the Go 3 versus the Go 2 in a side-by-side comparison. I hope you found some value in this comparison here, and I hope I could help you in deciding which of these cameras are for you. If you don't need a screen, then you might as well maybe go for the Go 2 if you don't need the resolution either. But if you know, want the best of these two, then the Go 3 is of course what you should get. So let me know if you found any value down in the comment section below, and all the links to everything will be down there as well. And with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.